All right, hello and welcome. This is the WERF League podcast. We're going to announce KDS draft order today. I am JT the Ginger, JT underscore the Ginger on Twitter. Sean, go ahead.
I'm at Sean underscore Beatty, and I'm the one who gave JT the nickname JT. What's up?
Thank you for that. Happy belated Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, you too. You too. I sad I didn't get to see you trudge through all the snow.
Right? Yeah, the 10 inches it dumped down last night was a lot of fun here in Eastern Washington. If you're unfamiliar with the WERF League, it is the Western expanse of Roto Fantasy. It is the sister league original to the BARF League, the NERF League, the Turf League, and now most latest and greatest, the GLARF League. It's a 5x5 Roto League, 15 participants, OBP and quality saves. And ultimately, we just wanted to create a community of fantasy analysts and people who follow fantasy baseball and create this league out of people out of the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, including BC, Alaska, tried Montana, even throughout it to Alex Chamberlain in Hawaii, but he was super slammed and busy. But ultimately, we're just going to do the KDS draft order and kind of flow through that. If no one's aware of what KDS is, you can find a nice little description on the NFBC website. It stands for Kentucky Derby System, I believe. Essentially, you would just submit what you want, picks, a snake draft. In this case, it's 1 through 15. And if you really want that number one pick, or you want to pick at the turn for 15, you send it in. So all of our participants in the WERF League sent theirs in, and we're going to draw random number now. I'm going to share the screen.
And I believe Andy gets the first pick, correct?
Well, actually, that's the one.
No, he gets the first number of pick.
Yeah. So it's gonna generate a list of 15 numbers. How I set it up for all you participants in WERF League is the first person that replied back to the KDS email got the little token number 1 here on the list, but that doesn't mean you get the number 1 pick. It just means that I just assigned you with the number 1 in this random number generator. So I got 1 through 15 here, sharing the screen. Hopefully you can see it. Got numbers per set 1 and total amounts generated. It's going to be 15. And then this little button, go. I'm going to scroll up here, expand it, and now I'm going to essentially write these down. But Dave Anderson just got his choice.
Oh, man. Well, the question is, what will his choice be? We'll get to that in a second. But will he pick the Ronald Acuna pick at number 1? Or will Mike Trout regain his number 1 spot? I feel like every year, while JT organizes that, I feel like every year it's kind of funny how Trout always drops a little bit. There's always that new guy who takes the mantle, and then Trout always seems to beat that person the next couple of years. But Ronald Acuna might be the best to repeat. I mean, Mookie Betts beat Trout 1 year and then immediately fell behind Trout the following year, but he seems to be back up above Trout again. Trout as the perennial, can't go wrong with him no matter where you draft him. I think this is the lowest I've ever seen him, JT, at number 4 projected.
Yeah, it's definitely like steals are a big boost of recent years. Yeah. He chips in maybe high single digits.
It's a desire thing, I think, for him. I think he can. He just years he chooses to, and then years he chooses not to. That's just kind of how he rolls.
All right. If anyone wants to go back and audit me, I wrote them all down, but I have it offline. So Sean and I were talking earlier. It's like if you really think I'd go out of my way to set it up in anyone's favor,
yeah,
don't even worry about it. This is all supposed to be fun, inclusion, get to know random people in the fantasy baseball community, and just kind of compete for bragging rights. The commissions of all the leagues, we're doing it overall, and we were talking about, okay, each league's probably going to have its own trophy, but we're talking about what does the overall winner get. That's still in discussion, but latest and greatest was calling it like the Earth Belt and having like a WWE style belt.
Man,
I forget what Earth stood for, but Matt came up with something. It was like extraordinary, roto whatever. But so we might do that. We might also, I was trying to figure out how to like pay for that belt and ultimately like ship it around across the country each year to the overall winner. And I thought of an idea, and we're still hashing it out, but originally my idea was to, if everybody pitched in $5 and we got 75 participants, they pay for the belt easy, because I think a nice belt's like probably $100. Ship it to the overall winner, and then all that leftover cash, the overall winner chooses the charity that they want to donate the remaining money to.
oh, that'd be nice.
So ultimately, just kind of like they get that choice on the lump sum to donate to a charity each year, and kind of make that like the thing on top of all the bragging rights, and point all of this goodwill towards a great cause. So without any further ado, Dave Anderson, lucky name was drawn. On his Twitter, I'm still getting to know everyone, but on his Twitter, I wrote down former Fangrass and Nasty Cast host, or something to that effect. He is at the Diablo 27. I like that handle, because I think if I wasn't JT the Ginger, I'd be El Diablo Paley Rojo. So pretty legit. So Dave's preference, his first preference was pick number 3. So he wanted that third spot.
The one right before the Trout pick. Okay.
Right. So he wants probably that guaranteed slide it back somewhere, like, whoever's last out of the 3, Tatis, Acuna, excuse me, and Betts. Yeah. Home runs, steals, batting at the top of the order.
Sorry, I mean, and all those teams, minus maybe Atlanta, the other 2 are in a separate category, project to be very run-oriented, and so lots of runs too, and RBI opportunities. Or Angels and Mike Trout, not so much. Well, Rendon's there now, so I mean, he's got one guy.
Yeah, I mean, Rendon was there last year too.
Well, I'm not saying like winning, but Rendon is clearly an upgrade of what, how old is Albert Pujols now? 50? So it's an upgrade over 50-year-old Albert Pujols.
People don't want to know.
I know you and your distaste for Albert Pujols.
I love the man. He was a machine, but all machines, anything man-made breaks down over time. That's what any good salesman will tell you.
All JT, John Connor. That's what he's taking down Skynet.
I think that was back around when I got my nickname. I had that whole conspiracy theory on how Jerry Jones somehow was involved with Skynet.
Yeah.
I have all these crazy ideas and thoughts, and I never write them down, and then I like forget them the next week. But
and it involved Albert Pujols. It got weird.
All right, Dave, you're gonna have the third pick. Next up was number 11, Smada. Smada's preference. Smada's first preference is still there. He went with the number 5 pick.
Nice, number 5.
Yeah.
We're looking at. Oh, okay. I'm going off Fantasy Pros pre-draft ranking, so we're looking around Sano and DeGrom range right there. So.
Yeah, if you take those 3 that chip in the home run, stolen bases, you got Trout and like Soto. If you want the high OBP, chip in a few steals.
You could steal that first starting pitcher off the board too, or if you would.
If you want to go Cole, Bieber, DeGrom.
Interesting that Fantasy Pros has DeGrom a little higher. I mean, I guess that his quality starts in not a win league, but Garrett Cole is like 5 spots, 4 spots back, depending. Oh yeah, Garrett Cole did drop recently.
It's just like coincidence, or probably preferring a.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, 1A, 1B. DeGrom versus Cole. Like, oh darn it, I got Garrett Cole.
Yeah,
kind of
because I mean, most of those leagues are still wins, where our league is quality starts. So maybe they're thinking that Mets lineup will support DeGrom a little bit better.
Even then, though, like they're so close. I mean, obviously they're 4 picks away in the first round. That like flip a coin.
Yeah. But in that regard, Bieber would be the third, I would think, if you're really kind of focused on potato, tomato, wins. I want double-digit wins. I don't know if Cleveland will support it. Kind of like a Felix Hernandez situation of Mariners days gone by.
There's a good story with that. I wore my King Felix shirt before this podcast, and I was going to, and I put it on. It was my wife's shirt. So I was basically a sports bra. So I had to take that off and put on this sweet Mariners t-shirt instead, because that was not going to fly on this podcast.
You're like all Mariners out. You even got the hat in the back, double.
Yeah,
hats.
I was going to wear the Futures game one, but decided not to. Most of this league's most likely going to be Mariners anyways. So don't worry, guys. I'm drafting Felix first round. Baltimore Orioles, baby.
Yeah. Kaka! Yeah, he's on the Orioles now.
Is that I don't think that's close to the Orioles sound.
Everyone needs like some type of war cry.
That sounds about right for Baltimore nowadays. That's about as intimidating as they are.
I think what a Mariner would do, like a tugboat or something, or like just a guy fishing, and he's just like meh.
Every time I think of the Orioles, I think of two things. I think of was it last full season 2019 where they had the worst starting ERA in MLB history, and then was it Gleyber Torres, who hit more home runs against that team than any other team combined that year. He had like 56% of his home runs against just the Orioles. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And then to the point where the national announcer was like, "Oh, come on," like on the broadcast when he hit it.
Oh yeah, he was like the perfect for that meme, like who's your daddy? Like he just
I
don't know, he's just locked in. I mean, Camden Yards brings out greatness, right? King Griffey Jr. Home Run Derby. All right, next up, 6th email I got about this KDS preference. So that goes to Mark Mcelroy. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I guess I should have talked about Smada more. I kind of brushed over him. I assumed everyone know who Smada is. My apologies. Prospects Live, minor graphs, ADP guru. That's just what I got down. He just recently moved to Idaho. So boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Pacific Northwest. He was like, am I? Yes, you are. You're in the Pacific Northwest. Welcome.
That's cute. You didn't know that Idaho is part of the Pacific Northwest.
Well, it's just like I don't.
Well, most people, especially baseball people, like there's not a lot going on up here. So, especially the last 19 years, Mariners. So I don't blame them.
Right, and ultimately, I had to cast a wide net. I really wanted like a lot of diverse podcasts and sites, and so it's great to have Smart along. So, like I said, Mark Mcelroy. He's with Pitcher List. He is up in Canada, I believe, British Columbia, so north of the border. And he will have so his first preference was taken already, but his second preference was the 6th overall pick.
Alrighty, 6th overall pick. Same kind of range, so yeah.
Right. Same people, maybe pitcher. Maybe someone slides, I'm
surprised Trevor Story's that high still. With just, he's got a lot of guys who could be good around him, but I mean, kind of like the Mike Trout situation. There's not a lot going around. At least proven guys, I would say. That's probably the better way to put that. A lot of guys I could see could.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Colorado's doing.
I don't. Oh man, yeah. Don't get me started there. That's a rabbit hole. Colorado. What they got?
My head would hurt so bad just trying to like sit in on a meeting. It just, that Jackie Chan face, like, just brain freeze.
Yeah,
I don't know what a brain freeze is like, but I've heard that's what you do because, as you know, my prowess with Slurpees
downs them in like
just
seconds.
It's like my vice, just guzzle them. I don't even know if it hits the spot where you get the brain freeze.
To come back full circle, you unhinge your jaw like a bird, like an oriole, and then you shovel it in there.
No, like a diamondback, like a snake.
Yeah, orioles don't do that now I think about it, but whatever.
And then hopefully
I was grasping at straws like the Rockies. There you go. Brought it back again.
And then hopefully it hinges back. Otherwise you'd be talking like the Burger King guy did need a Whopper. But all right, next up, 10th email I got back was from Mr. John Hegland, professor, WSU University.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. He found out a few years ago when we first started interacting on Twitter that I was Butch at WSU, and that was pretty legit. He's been there a while. He was there for that random snowstorm in June 2008.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you were there, but I remember my sister was visiting for senior field trip day up in Pullman, and it snowed, and she's like, I texted her, called her, I don't know, 2008 technology, I forget if we could do this thing. I sent her a strongly worded postage via I don't know, but I was like, hey, wear closed-toed shoes or pants or something. I don't know if you're guessing it's going to be spring or summer, but anyway, John Hegland, Baseball Prospectus, at John Hegland on Twitter, connoisseur of many fine drinks and beverages and of the adult kind. His first choice is still there. He wanted the 8th pick. So he has succeeded.
Pullman, where I gave you that nickname, JT.
You want to go into details or?
No. There were some delicious beverages involved. Let's just, as John is aware of those, very delicious beverages and quite a few of them. So that is where you got the nickname JT after a fun night. And what do you say, 8th? Is that what he wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, Trevor Story, Christian Yelich territory. I like how I'm projecting where all these people are going to draft, and none of them are going to be right. Maybe Acuna. Whoever gets number 1 will get Acuna, but then everybody else will have their own ideas. Again, I'm just going off fantasy. I'm just going off Fantasy Pros, just kind of seeing where everything slots in right now.
Yeah, it's going to be like that home league where you have a bunch of diehard. We've known each other a long time. We had a Braves fan in our league one year, and I think it was Freeman went in the first round, which was fine.
Yeah. There was Hayward, and then there was McCann. That was it. The catcher was in the 3rd round.
Yeah. Hayward went in the 2nd round. Yeah. It
did not go well for that person.
I was okay with it. I was like, you do
we were all, yeah, it did not go well for that person.
Was that guy? Good
was
choice.
That the year I lost in the finals on the last day when Evan Longoria hit 3 home runs in the last day?
I don't know. I don't bear that pain.
I just remember seeing him we used to live together, me and JT, and I remember him rounding a bases for the 3rd time. And that was like the dagger in my day. And I was like, it really, all 3 of them? You had to hit all 3? You went, you couldn't just hit 2 and I win. You had to hit the 3rd one. Okay.
You Sunday, were like, Sports Center's on, the game's over. They're showing the highlights. Oh no, this is 3rd one. Oh, okay. That's cool.
It was painful. And again, just so everybody knows, that's in this league. If you make the finals with me, congratulations. I have broken the curse, JT, but I did get again second place at least 2 times in fantasy football again this year. So I am 2 for 31 in championships. So what's up?
But
What's
still,
up?
regarding baseball, Ofer, right?
I am over. I am over.
Yeah.
I had a team go 24-2 and then lost in the finals. Yeah. That included the playoffs. That's why there's so many weeks, but yeah.
Yeah.
I did not lose for 22 weeks in a row and then lost in the finals when it mattered the most. After the person congratulated me on winning, and then after the first 3 days.
I've tasted my share of the championship. I've also tasted my share of defeat.
You tasted your share of defeat and then at the same time did it to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll never forgive you 2 years ago.
Yeah. Thank you, Aaron Judge. But Tommy Pham, sorry you got stabbed. Pham. Hopefully you're doing well.
I did trade that person, Tommy Pham. So I'm so sorry. So I kind of did have a hand in taking you down that year.
It's my own fault. You offered me to him first, but
he was a good player. Well, a solid player.
I wasn't feeling it.
He should have, apparently.
So next up, number 5 in the email list matches up with Danny Kugler. That's how I'm going to say it. Even though he's a Corvallis guy, I think Arizona native. He's a Beeve, Pack. Well, probably, I don't know. I have him as a retired Banff. I don't know much about him. But he's awesome to interact with on Twitter at Danny Kugler, Kugler. His first preference is still there. Number 1 pick. He just wanted what he wanted, and then he'll I'll just come back on the turn. I like it. I like the turn.
I respect it. I respect it. I know you like the turn. I respect it though. Going number 1, getting your first pick. I respect it. I wasn't brave enough to put it as my first choice. So, and I know you love your turn, JT, at 15-16.
That's what I got. I mean, first joined fantasy basketball way back in 07, 08, and dominated. And I was like, fantasy, let's do all of them. Let's just do.
It was late. It was later than that because I started in 06. I started in 06, and then we ended up living together. So it was I would say it was a 2010 through 2012. Yeah, you 3-peated on everybody.
I haven't bought a random shirt.
My problem was I kept going to the Dwight Howard well, and that was when he was just coming off of his prime. I was 2 years late on him. We should have been doing fantasy basketball 2 years before that. I'm not sure how many people in this league know much about basketball because I know some people are very specific to their sport. But Dwight Howard plays basketball. He's very tall.
He does. Did you know that Rajon Rondo also does? Because I sniped him from you.
That was my first real sniping. I waited on that guy and I was like, oh, this is the guy, and you sniped him. That was painful.
All right. Painful. Next up. Oh, Sean.
There we go.
You're the next choice, and it's your first choice. Number 4.
Yeah, put me on this. Oh, right, Mike Trout. Actually, can I say I like him wearing a Mariners hat? I respect him.
Yeah.
I'll Wes Mantooth him from Anchorman. I don't like you, but I respect you.
And your Musk.
There you go.
He's a dad now. Gotta respect the hustle.
I'll put it this way: I sports hate him. That's the best term. Sports hate that guy because every time it's always just Mike Trout. It's kind of like the Felix Hernandez. At the same time, I kind of feel bad for him because Felix is just by himself, and for a long time, Mike Trout was by himself. They both signed the deals, so they both assumed that the team would build around them, but still.
Yeah. You think it'd be
signing a
touch easier with baseball not having a cap? No big money. If your owner wants to spend money, you can.
I just don't get. We've talked about this in private, but I just don't get some of the. This is actual baseball talk. Angels have needed pitching, and they went just go all in on getting Garrett Cole, a California native, a guy who was an Angel fan. Get Garrett Cole, and they're like, nope. And then they're gonna be like, let's get more hitting. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're gonna run out Julio Teheran as your number one. And that, how did that go? How did that go? Didn't they cut him before like in the season?
I do not
I
recall.
thought he only made it like 30 games into the season, and then they're like, we're done with this. But Dylan Bundy played pretty well.
He is.
But yeah,
He has shown. Yeah, he's just a little inconsistent, but I don't mind him.
Like a
I like
team
the
that
cut of his
clearly
jib.
needs pitching.
Yeah.
A team that clearly needs pitching just doesn't do whatever you got to do. I get that Rendon's good, but don't spend money on Rendon if you need pitching.
Maybe
that was my rant.
We can scout for them because Tri-Cities now has high A ball, season-long Dust Devils.
My scouting would be pay what the Yankees paid for Garrett Cole. Done. That's it.
Mr. Moreno.
Pitching. You need pitching.
I'll write him a strongly worded and send it snail mail and like, Mr. Moreno, your sister was my boss at one time when I worked at that bank way back when, and she had Angels.
She used
checks,
to come into my old store. Yeah,
she always went into the grocery store and like, thank you for supporting the local Tri-City Dust Devils. I will scout for you. This is my salary. Sign on this dotted line. You're welcome.
I noticed you left out that you didn't name the salary right here. Okay, that's smart of you. It's negotiable now.
Yeah, I want to put myself in the
you don't want to box yourself in right now, especially with the pandemic and everything. You don't want to box yourself in.
Right, I need flexibility.
Yeah.
Next up was the number 14 on the random number generator, which is Mikey Ahato. Mikey is, between him and John Hegland, kind of like, I threw the idea of the WERF League out there, and they jumped right on it. And they're like, yeah, do that. I was like, oh, yeah, like, someone should do that, and thank you that it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you should do that.
Yeah, you do it.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's your idea. Do it. Participate. I was like, I am Yancey, I'm Yancey Eaton Jr. Like, I consume all podcasts and I like to interact a little bit, but I'm just a fan of all of it.
Look at you now.
Woo!
Look at you now.
All right, Mikey's first preference still there. Boom, 13.
Nice. 13. Okay. Interesting. That's Shane Bieber, Freddie Freeman, Cody Bellinger range. Freddie Freeman, that was my guy last year. Just raking.
Right. Mikey's up in Seattle with Pitcher List at Dis Thy Mikey. DYSTHYMIKEY.
I grew up on Lookout Landing.
Yeah, I think he still contributes, or cut teeth there, and I know he knows a lot of the people over there. He just knows a lot of people. Seems like a really great guy to interact with. Really.
JT will know. I had a buddy. We used to have a little blog back when we were in middle school. So this was like 2000, back when like internet was very new. For all we know, we could have been posting to a Word document. My buddy set it up, and we just would talk about Mariners every day before school on this blog. And then he came to me years later and was like, "Oh yeah, we could have been Lookout Landing for Lookout Landing." And I was like, "No, that requires talent. We don't have that. We didn't have that. We don't have that.
So close. I would
so close.
Supported
Just
you.
missed every ingredient. Just missed every ingredient we needed to be successful.
Butterfly effect. It could have been. We don't know.
Yeah. What we could have been. All
right. Next up, we got Corbin Young. His third preference is still there. 7.
All right. 7.
So he'll have the 7 spot. Mr. Corbin Young with Fantrax, Fantasy Pros, lifter of weights. Seen a lot of weightlifting recently. Leg day. Hashtag leg day every day. I don't know if he actually posts that, but he should.
Hashtag leg day. Never skip leg day. Especially
Corbin,
baseball.
Right. At Corbin_Young21.
We all can't look like Nelson Cruz. Okay.
Right. Or like
That dude's in
Verlander, when those scantily clad photos came out, you're like, those aren't doctored. That's Justin Verlander, because he looks like Gumby from the waist up, and then he just looks like a stallion from the waist down, and you just paint that picture in your head.
Everybody think of that. They got like a power source. I think of Griffey every time. That kid came up. That kid, he's old now. We're both old now, but that guy came up at 18, 19, and he had a power source from day one. That's why no one's ever accused Griffey of steroids. That dude was put together from day one.
Oh, I saw him swinging a golf club because the Pebble Beach Pro-Am just ended this last weekend. They're like, oh, famous celebrities and people of interest that have played there. Wow. The golf swing really didn't look any different. Like he was just hitting a low pitch, and it was majestic. Like I was just like, that's what he was born to do. Like the way he just rotates.
Yep.
I don't think I need to say anymore. Everyone knew who the kid was. Fantasized.
We've already talked about him twice.
Yeah.
The Mariners fans, we're not living in the past or anything like that.
It hasn't been like 20 years since we've been in the playoffs.
19. Settle down.
I like to round up.
I want to say something about that real quick, though. Everyone's like, we have the longest drought. Well, yeah, because most years 4 teams made the playoffs, then now 5. But they're like, what's worse? I'm like, well, yeah, half the NBA gets in. Like, how many NFL teams get in? 12. Like, on a given year, there's 14 this year. Like, yeah, it's hardest to make it in baseball. I figured a baseball team would be the longest drought. Just happens to be the Mariners. That's what hurts.
But these next few years look like sweet.
I'm like 14. So my second round pick, Jared Kelnick. Calling it now.
Let's just make it a keeper league forever.
Wait, it's not? Oh, crap. I need to adjust everything.
Right. All right. Next up, 9th email in was JT.
Oh.
That ginger ogre. He got his preference. Third preference was the second pick.
You better not snipe in front of me. You better leave Mookie Betts to me. Let him drop 2 picks. Right. You better.
I've done KDS once or twice before. It's still kind of new to me. And with 15 teams and just everything going on, and we're drafting in February, and I was like, I feel like I'm going to be a little bit closer to the front or on the ends because I like the turn. So we'll see how it works out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a tough decision though. I'm gonna take my full clock time. Throwing it out there.
Everybody knows JT's notorious in our league of taking us full clock time. And on the best part is when you do it on back-to-back picks. So you'll wait the full time, whatever it is, draft, and then do it again. Not like you've had 20 minutes to do this, to figure this out, or sit here and kind of target some guys. You just sit there and waits, and then it freaks somebody out every draft we ever do. We
used to draft live, and people were like, we need a clock now because that was awful. I was like, sorry. And I was just like sipping on my Slurpee, just like trying to contemplate who I wanted. Aramis Ramirez. Yeah, I like that guy. Third base, Milwaukee. I could see that, Oh, wait, hold on. What about?
You weren't the only one. There's several reasons why that took 6.5 hours, but yeah, that was terrible. I enjoyed it. I would do it again in a heartbeat, but some other people hated it.
No.
I like to be able to talk trash to the person like next to me, not over a computer. It's not the same. and then proceed to lose to that person when it really matters. Like, that's my favorite thing to do.
It's what you're good at, and you got to do.
I drafted someone else's team that year, and they won.
Oh,
yeah.
But it was like, I don't know if anyone plays Pinochle, Shooting the Moon. Like, it literally was just like hit on every single, and you're like, this is what he drafted. Said. I'm gonna pick
Paxton, and like, yeah, he drafted Paxton like the 11th round on like his rookie year when he was going like 200. There's like 210. And I was like, well, this is what he wanted 11th round. And then, yeah, Paxton did his thing for as long as Paxton does his thing till his arm falls off every year. But welcome back, James Paxton.
Back, Maple Grove. I'm excited.
They need an eagle bobblehead. Just
I got one.
It in the works.
It's the one with him, and he's got the eagle on his shoulder.
Yeah, bring it back now. Like, I know there's some time and there's got to be some production issues, but like, do it now.
Did you miss out? I think I have an extra. Do you want it?
Yeah.
I think we went a bunch of family, and I think I have multiple.
I think the only ones I have in here, I have two. I have an Ichiro, I have a Felix, and I have a Russell Wilson Dust Devil bobblehead baseball ones in here. I have various hockey ones and other things, but yeah.
No. All right, next up was the third email I got back for AP. So he is, I'm not sure if I share his full name, but he's Vitamin Empire on Twitter. I just put down he's an OG fantasy baseballer. Seems like he's been doing it a while. He knows Mikey really well, and maybe a big Votto fan. Vitamin Empire. So all of his preferences are taken up to the 9th preference, which happens to be the 9th pick. So that's what he gets.
Now JT knows I love me some Votto too. He's actually been my fantasy team name for a couple of years now running, so I might have to fight about that one. Who doesn't love Joey Votto though? Like, seriously. Joey Votto. Clinical psychologist. There we go. Another psych guy. There we go.
Are you psyched?
WSU said I was psyched. Yeah.
Sorry, Dad.
But yes, I am psyched. You can say it. You're your dad. I can say it too. I guess I'm a dad too. I got to get used to that. He's only like almost 1.5. I got to get used to that.
Right. And I procreated more gingers on this earth. So
thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yeah. It's what I do. It's what I did.
You're the smallest population. I contribute to the largest population.
All right. Next up was the 4th email I got back on a random number generator, and that goes to Will Garofalo. Will's 6th preference is still there at the 10th pick.
10th pick. That's the boy Garrett Cole right there. Garrett Cole. Why is he dropping so much? He just turned 30. That's it. Years. He's over. He's done. That's it. Must be why he's dropping. Settle down there, computer. Garrett Cole. Jose Ramirez. He keeps climbing up, and I don't know why he's climbing up. I mean, there's not a lot around him either. Oh, gosh. Cleveland, man. Cleveland starting pitchers. Sorry, I just saw Shane Bieber right after Jose Ramirez, and what Cleveland could have had if they spent money. And by the way, I'm all on board. Cleveland Spiders. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I will accept nothing else because it's their OG name anyways, and a spider. Dope. October baseball in Cleveland with a spider as your logo. What's better than that? The Halloween themes write themselves. There you go. Although I don't know if their current rate continues, if Cleveland's going to be playing much October baseball, but gotta spend that money.
I'm not
gotta
invested.
spend that money.
I'm just like, pick a name. Let's go. You know,
Cleveland Spiders, dude. Like that's where it's at.
Gonna be honest, I had a small panic attack, so I just completely tuned you out for the last 30 seconds because I thought I messed this up.
I know that's why. I just kept
my
talking
face
about
got
the Spiders,
red.
and
I
I
noticed.
can talk about Spiders all day. Cleveland Spiders are also the worst team in pro. I think it's pro sports history. Did you hear that story behind that?
Mm.
So the Cleveland Spiders, oh gosh, I don't know the year. It was way back in the day, like 1900. The owner had two teams, and he basically took all the good players from the Cleveland Spiders and traded them to the other team he owned. So that's why the Cleveland Spiders are the worst team in baseball and pro sports history, because they had literally no one that was any good.
Oh,
Because the other, I don't know which team that he also owned, but he traded them all to that team. And yeah,
so
not a good team.
he made a super team. That's cool.
At the
You
expense
know,
of the Cleveland Spiders.
visionary.
yeah. Minus Cleveland. Minus Cleveland.
All right, next up, 12th email I got back on the number generator goes to Ryan Bloomfield.
FSWA Baseball Writer of the Year.
Yeah, pretty legit. Congrats.
Wow, nicely done. Congratulations.
Baseball HQ. He is at Ryan BHQ. Seems like a legit guy, I think down in Portland, Oregon. And he's just like, let's do that. Like, he just was like, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. Do you need other people? I can contact them for you. He just was like super positive, and congrats to him on the award. And
yeah,
ultimately, he is going to be drafting at the turn. His KDS preference, the 10th one, still available, is number 15. So he'll have the 15th draft spot.
He'll be slumming it with us.
In the caboose?
No, just slumming it with us. Me and you. I mean, come on. What is someone like that doing? Well, I can say that about everybody in this league. What are they doing with us? But it's what it is. Thank you for taking pity on us.
All right, next up is the 15th email I got back, which was the last one, is Patrick Magnus. And I was cool with that because he's over living in China at the moment. But when we draft, it's going to be legit time change wise, like 16-hour ahead. So he's in the future. So watch out, okay? Because he's going to know extra info we don't know for 16 whole hours ahead.
Dude.
And specifically watch out because he's going to have, it was his 5th choice. He's going to have 14th draft spot. He's going to be right around.
There we go.
Ryan. So watch out, Ryan. Try to predict the future.
He has a soft landing. He'll know who you're going to draft before you do. He's in the future.
He's already in your head.
I don't get how time works. I gotta do better on trash talking other people. I just think I've just been ripping myself for the last half an hour.
So Patrick,
y'all are going down.
So Patrick Magnus is with the Dynasty Guru, Dynasty's Child, at the Green Magnus on Twitter. If I remember right, he was over here in Pacific Northwest with family for most of lockdown, pandemic type stuff. And I thought about it, I was like, maybe he's here for a while, and then he moved back, and I was like, I really want to draft in person, but it's just with everything going on, let's just get this going, and we'll try to get in person next year.
There we go.
So that leaves the first person to email me back and the second person to email me back. They get their least amount of preference, but it works out because so Andy Patton is the next person to get his preference, and it was his second preference. So, hey, 12th spot in the draft. So that worked out well, even though he had to wait all this time, got the 12th spot.
There we go. Sorry, who's that? I lagged out for a second. Who's that?
Oh, Andy Patton with Pitcher List and a bunch of other stuff. Has a great podcast. He covers the Zags basketball. He is at Andy Patton, PNW. I think from the profile pic, he's got a tinge of ginge in the beard, and then like he's, it's gone up top. So mad props to him,
You got two
fellow
fellow brothers here in
brethren.
that regard. There you go. Yeah.
All right, and so ultimately that leaves the final spot to Christopher Crawford. And I said that worked out okay because his preference 10 and 11 was either 12 or 11. So they're right next to each other, kind of at the back end of his preferences, but at least the final two remaining, it wasn't a big like swing for his thought process or draft preference. So he'll draft from the 11th spot.
There we go. And he's got works NBC Sports, and he's got a Kraken hat on in his profile picture. I can respect that since I have season tickets to the Kraken, so we got that. But I lost my screen. Go Sharks right there. What's up?
So yeah, Chris Crawford, with at Crawford _MILB. So he's gonna maybe snipe some prospects. Watch out. He might have a pulse on that.
Jared Kelnick, round 2, just come at me. Just that, I'll prospect for you.
All right. So we have our draft spots. To recap them, and then I'm gonna throw out some hype for the draft, and then we'll call this good. The inaugural WERF League podcast. So drafting from the first spot in the 15-team draft, very similar to NFBC, except we're going to do one catcher, 2 utility, all the same other, 5x5 roto I mentioned with OBP and QS. First spot going to Danny Kugler. Next up, second spot, yours truly, JT the Ginger. Third spot, Dave Anderson. Oh, both Diablos just right there. Yeah. Diablo 27, and then maybe I should switch my name. I'll just be.
And you're both gonna be in front of me at 4.
Sean at 4, and then I've got Smada at 5. I've got Mark Mcelroy at 6. Corbin Young at 7. John Hegland at 8. AP Vaudeman Empire. He's going to be drafting from the 9th spot. 10th spot goes to Will Garofalo. Christopher Crawford, 11. Andy Patton at the 12th spot. Mikey at 13. Patrick Magnus at 14. And Ryan Bloomfield, 15. We have our draft order set, snake draft, 30 rounds.
Buckle up, boys.
Yeah, do your homework.
I've never been very good at that, so
I'm a big procrastinator.
You're gonna take every second of every pick. Get ready. You guys got who's around you again? Dave and who got the number 1 pick?
Danny.
Yeah, you got time. You got time.
Yeah.
Back around. JT will take all of his. How long is it set for each pick?
A minute, I believe.
Okay, well, you'll have a minute guaranteed. There you go.
Yeah, 58 seconds average pick time.
58.3. There you go, right there.
Yeah, 30 rounds. I might have to get 2 Slurpees. That's quite the draft. Speaking of the draft, it will be hosted. We will have announcers, play-by-play, pick-by-pick, banter, analysis, just fun overall. Danielle, wife of Justin Mason, she is at Mrs. D. Solinger. She's a riot on Twitter. Definitely worth a follow.
Yes,
really fun. She's out there. She's telling it like it is. And we also got Yancey Eaton. or I call him Pop Pop. Just made that up because I called myself Nancy Eaton Jr. earlier.
Wow. Okay.
So, you know,
You're giving out your own nickname here. Okay, cool.
he is the thread that binds us. He has been like a guest on a ton of podcasts just because he started out just listening to them all, promoting them all. Super positive person, and so those are the two people I chose to reach out to and help kind of announce and get us all hyped during the draft this Saturday, February 20th, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And keep in mind, there's an overall aspect along with just the champion for the league. So essentially start studying or don't, Patrick, just kind of hang out and wait for the future to happen. And then once it happens, we'll still be in the past, but you're going to be in the future. So that's unfair. I might draft in the west part of my house. Does that help me by like a millisecond?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how time works.
Just got to be within my Wi-Fi range.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll post this video. I'll post the draft order for anyone interested. Also DM that out on Twitter to all participants. But yeah, it's this weekend. Get ready, get set. Let's do this. I'm gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah. See ya.
Anything else, Sean? Last words?
No, that's it. Go Mariners. I can't wait to lose to all of you guys this year, so that'll be fun. I can't wait to get second. That's what will happen. I'll dominate, get second. That's just what's gonna happen.
Right.
Let's do it.
You're just like, I don't know,
I've accepted who I am fantasy wise. That's just what it is.
As long as you make we play a lot of head to head, making the playoffs and that. Road is different season long. We are going to have trades. Everyone, let's be respectable. I doubt any huge. It's a redraft league, so with eyes upon us, I don't think there's going to be any weird shenanigans.
Yeah.
So all right, that's everything. Sean _Beatty on Twitter. I am JT _the Ginger on Twitter. Thanks for following along. That was a lot of fun. We're going to try to do these weekly during the season. We'll have the podcast posted for the draft with Yancey and Danielle hosting. And then once the season gets started, the goal will be just to kind of recap each week, what the fab process produces, ads, drops, just quick recap of the league specifically, maybe a little excerpts from what's been happening in baseball. But I'm excited. Full season 2021 MLB baseball should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, excited.
All right, thank you much, and until next time.
See ya.
Bye.